Well, a very good evening to you and many thanks for joining us on this 22nd day of August 2023, a day when the MA community celebrated their first cultural activity or event, an event that President William Ruto now says will be celebrated annually and internationally. Now, today again, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has taken a swipe at Kalonzo Musyoka, the former Vice President, over what he termed as blackmailing the Kamba community despite being in power for over 20 years. Now, the President and his deputy today spoke in two different regions as they prepare for their Rift Valley, North Rift region tour, and of course followed by the tour to the western region of this country. President Ruto and his deputy are expected to be in Nakuru tomorrow, followed by a tour to Baringo, and of course the coming week they'll be in the western region in a move, or rather in a tour that the DP himself says is a tour to open development projects or to launch development projects. Some say it looks like it's a whole political mood in the country, but according to the government, they are launching development projects. Now, those stories and many others from across all the 47 counties of the Republic of Kenya. But first of all, let's have a look at what's making headlines tonight.
Sasa mtafuata tu kiongozi after every 5 years anaweka nyinyi kwa shimo, unasema ni kiongozi wetu.
Tonight on the bottom line, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua calls out Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka for taking Ukambani people for a ride for 25 years. Pomp and color as the MA Cultural Festival officially kicks off in Masai Mara, Narok County.
Kuna tamaa, kuna mafisi walio pale ndani ambao wanataka kumezea mate mali ya Pastor Ezekiel.
The court has granted orders. The court has noticed that there is a case that can be argued.
And reprieve for embattled Pastor Ezekiel Odero as a court allows the church to continue operating amidst the court case.
Thank you very much. I am Ian Keitani, and remember you can watch this particular bulletin across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, as well as YouTube. We kickstart this bulletin with matters of politics, and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has taken a swipe at Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka over what he termed as misleading the Kamba community. Speaking during the burial of Anne Kaleche, the mother to MWALA MP Vincent Musyoka, Gachagua called on the community to rally behind President William Ruto while pouring cold water on the bipartisan talks.
MWALA constituency, Machakos County, and leaders from both sides of the political divide congregated for the burial of Anne Kaleche Musau, the mother to Energy Committee chairperson and MWALA MP Vincent Musyoka. As expected, politics took center stage during the burial, with Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka coming under fire from Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over what he termed as political conmanship despite being in politics for over 20 years.
Sasa 2018 Raila alienda handshake na Uhuru Kenyatta. Hakumwambia Kalonzo, hakuenda na yeye, akaenda akatengeneza deal yake na Uhuru Kenyatta wakamalizana. Project zote alitoa kwa Uhuru akapeleka kwao. Kuna project alienda kwa Ukambani? Lakini nyinyi hata hatuelewi nyinyi. Baada ya kufanyia nyinyi hiyo tena mkamfuata tena mkaabuka na yeye. Nao ametafuta rais juzi. Hakuja na Kalonzo. Hakuna mambo ya Kalonzo aliongea mambo yake.
With the deputy president being faulted by the opposition over his shareholder remarks, Gachagua maintains that those who voted for the government will be prioritized on matters development projects and key government appointments.
We have given you everything through the back door. Please come through the front door next time. Kujieni kwa mlango wazi. Come on the table and negotiate. You are stake in our government. Why do you want to come through the back door? Sasa hii kura mnafuata mzee amezeeka, amechanganyikiwa, mnatupa kura yenu, sasa mnalia maji, mnalia barabara, mnalia hii, mtalia mpaka lini? Kura yenu ni mingi. And I want to say, I look forward to a day these leaders will lead this community into government.
As the talks between both sides of the political divide take shape, the DP rubbished the talks, insisting that the talks were only but a formality.
Sasa hii mazungumzo ametuma Kalonzo. Pale kwa agenda hakuna maji ya Ukambani, hakuna bolea, hakuna barabara. Kwa hiyo mazungumzo nini iko hapo nini kwa kama? Kwa hiyo mazungumzo. Nothing will come out of those talks. Is a waste of time. I am telling you as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. So nyinyi Wakamba mngoje hiyo mazungumzo, mtakuja kutafuta sisi because there is nothing.
His sentiments were also echoed by former Machakos Senator Johnson Muthama, who urged President William Ruto to prioritize his development agenda over the talks as matters elections were dealt with in the Supreme Court. Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, moving forward, President William Ruto has promised to elevate the Maasai Festival to international status. Speaking at the official opening of the Ma Cultural Festival in Masai Mara, Narok County, Ruto assured residents of job opportunities in the event, which is set to be celebrated annually. Now, the colorful event saw communities showcase their cultural identity, including food, clothing, sports, and musical talents.
Hii sherehe itakuwa ni sherehe ambayo watu watatoka duniani kote wakati wanakuja kuangalia wildebeest migration, vile vile watakuja katika hii sherehe, na tutatumia hii sherehe kujaza mahoteli yetu. Tutatumia hii sherehe kupanga ajira ya vijana wetu wanaofanya kazi katika sehemu hizi, na mimi naamini ya kwamba ile hatua ya kwanza tumefanya leo ndio itatengenezwa vizuri kuliko vile tumetengeneza hii. Going forward, we are going to make this function better and proper, and going forward we are going to make sure that this function becomes part of the itinerary of our tourism circuits and our tourism program as a country. Tuangalie ni vipi tunaweza kuendesha utalii, na hiyo utalii isiwe tu ni utalii ya mambo ya wanyama peke yao ama mambo ya beach kule Mombasa peke yake. Pia mbele na nyuma iwe ni mambo ya culture ya watu wa taifa letu la Kenya.
That was President William Ruto in Narok today. He was accompanied by various leaders, including the governors of Kajiado, Narok, and Samburu counties. Moving forward, the National Assembly today began public hearing meetings on the Privatization Bill 2023, which gives the Treasury the authority to sell off public held companies without parliamentary approval. Now, Public Procurement Oversight Authority, Privatization Commission, and the Institute of Economic Affairs were invited to give their views on the contentious bill.
To privatize public entities, including state corporation, continues to face mixed reactions. The National Planning Committee on Tuesday morning appeared before the National Assembly Finance Committee to present the privatization bill, which seeks to give Treasury the authority to sell off publicly held companies without parliamentary approval.
We are again now saying that we're giving you a blanket, more or less, to do privatization of any institution that you want. Because we, in your head, in your mind, you say now we approve the budget, but then you guys look at the programs on that. But most importantly, I want to so do you think that it is safe to continuously attempt to take out the role of Parliament in an institution?
Just so that, the issue in terms of separation of powers and separation of duties from the National Treasury, the Cabinet, Parliament, and the Privatization Commission.
Senior Director in Private Organization Response stated that privatization has been formulated in a legal framework to enhance transparency and clear speculations from the public that the current law could be providing room for corruption in matters of buying public companies to benefit a few individuals.
Let me put it the way this. Let me paint the context of why the 2005 Act is not been able to operate. This is how it is in the real context, if you have to contextualize it. So what it was is, number one, as I told you, in terms of the roles, so it had the roles in a way that, it doesn't, it has a conflict in the sense that, the Privatization Commission will not be in a position to be able to meet the parameters. And I read those particular parameters of what you will be able to look at.
According to the Commission, it aims to reduce demand of government resources and improve infrastructure. The National Assembly further asked the Commission to come out clear and state the role of the National Assembly, spell out the need of the amendment, and provide assessment of the current bill.
As a board member, I would have expected that this bill you'd have had your input on the bill to now envision such a transition, because we have a legal challenge, we have a legal dilemma now, because you, the board members, yourself included, have not signed the share certificates to transfer the shareholding back to GOK. And when we asked your chairman, he said part of the reason was, of course, there was the parts that they were not involved, but also because they don't know how they would operate if Telecom Limited reverted back to GOK.
So far, only one company has been fully privatized. The Commission failed to explain the effectiveness of the transition process and why they are looking forward to privatize various entities, having said that the companies are making profits. The Cabinet approved the bill in March, saying the revised policy shifts to revitalize Kenya's capital markets through the review of the framework for the state divestiture as part of the wider reform process targeting public enterprises. Mavin Getembe, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Now, the tourism and education sectors in the coastal region are happy load following the arrival of a ship fleet with more than 370 tourists on board, including students from different parts of the globe, and is set to remain in the country for the next 45 days to give visitors a chance to explore the country.
The tourism and education industry on the Kenyan coast has been boosted after the Logos Hope ship with more than 370 tourists, including students, docked at Mombasa.
The ship has visited already around 150 different countries, so we are really happy to be here in Mombasa, Kenya this 2023.
Chief Relation Officer of Mombasa Port Council Haji Masemo emphasized that the students who arrived with the ship from more than 70 nations will have the opportunity to tour different parts of the country during their stay.
This vessel here, MV Logos Hope, is a moving library. It's actually the biggest moving library in the world today. She is carrying 5,000 different types of books. She's going to be here for 45 days.
The ship, used as a library with more than 5,000 books, intends to stay at the Mombasa port for 45 days to give students and other library enthusiasts from the country an opportunity to read and buy different books as they seek to enhance their knowledge and reading culture.
This is a floating library. Tunatarajia mentorship program inaendelea kwa sasa hivi na tunapanga wanafunzi wetu waje kutembelea meli kama hii ambayo kwamba imeland leo Mombasa County.
Tuko na mikakati na pia tumeongea na wizara ya Blue Economy ya kwamba kuboresha utalii Mombasa. Tunataka cruise ship nyingi, na vile juzi pia tulikuwa na kongamano kubwa ya open sky policies. Sana ni kwamba tukipata ma cruise ships, open skies policy ifunguliwe, ndege zikuje za utalii, tunaweza kuboresha nini yetu. Na kwa hivyo kama county tumejumuika na MV Logo Hopes kuhakikisha kwamba wameenjoy nini ya Mombasa.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
Now, thank you very much, Stanley Lugaria, for that particular story. And on that note, we take a short breather. We'll be back with more stories on this bulletin. Don't go away.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection. Added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park, fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Realize your home ownership dream by investing in Brookvale Tuala, a magnificent prime residential property located in Ongata, Rongai. Brookvale Tuala by Safaricom Investment Cooperative overlooks the majestic Ngong Hills and lies only 24 kilometers from Nairobi CBD. The project boasts of well-serviced plots with a perimeter wall, graded roads and a borehole. 50 by 100 plots are going for 1.4 million shillings with a flexible payment plan of up to 6 months. To book your plot, call 0729 121212 today. Safaricom Investment Cooperative, the investment partner of choice.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Moving forward, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, that is IGAD, in partnership with the meteorological and hydrological stakeholders, have today released the 65th Horn of Africa Climate Outlook for October to December 2023. The report presented a consolidated objective on the regional climate outlook and implications of the seasonal climate forecast and the management strategies.
Climate services for scenario planning and resilience building is the theme of the 65th Greater Horn of Africa Climate Forum, organized by IGAD and other stakeholders. The forum, held in Nairobi, was attended both physically and on Zoom within the framework of IGAD regional strategy for mainstream climate services in key socio-economic sectors for sustainable development.
Today we are holding the 65th Greater Horn of Africa Climate Outlook Forum. So this forum brings together the users, producers, and also researchers to co-develop and also the forecast for the upcoming season and develop advisories and mitigation strategies.
The INO status for the month of July shows high possibilities of El Nino in the larger parts of East Africa.
The forecast for the upcoming October to December rainfall season shows that most parts of the Greater Horn of Africa region are expected to receive above average rainfall. As we know, this region has been on the long drought period for the past 2 years. So this is a very good opportunity, but we have to also be careful about the negative impacts of it.
The regional forecast also shows that desert locusts are elevating to higher risk due to climate change.
We coordinate a platform on monitoring transboundary pests. This is in the early warning component because as an institution that looks at climatic extremes, pest invasions are among the sort of the extremities driven by climate change. For Kenya, we're already seeing a situation whereby due to a limit in control in Ethiopia, in parts of Somalia, in parts of Yemen due to conflict and the likes, we might have locusts coming in more numbers. And due to the El Nino, we're also seeing increased rainfall and also increased temperatures. That means locusts are very likely to multiply in big swarms. And in so doing, we start preparing with the Desert Locust Control Organization, with the Ministry of Agriculture. We are in the network together. They know when the pests will be coming in, and they begin to look for the pesticides on time, management practices on time, aircrafts on time.
The main objective of the forum was to reflect on the performance and impacts of the October to December 2023 season, present the consolidated objective regional climate outlook for the 2023 season, discuss the implication of the 2023 climate forecast and management strategies, and provide a regional interaction platform for decision makers, climate scientists, research scientists, users of climate information, and development partners. Amin Abdurrahman, Lookuptv.
Thank you very much, Amina Abdirahman. Now, the High Court has issued orders suspending the deregistration of Pastor Ezekiel's New Life Ministry. The court has allowed the church to continue operating pending determination of the case. Pastor Ezekiel's church was one of the 6 churches affected by the recent deregistration by the Registrar of Societies. The government revoked the licenses of 6 churches on Friday in an effort to impose stricter regulations on religious organizations.
Pastor Ezekiel and Pastor Ezekiel. Today, amepata nyota. It was a disaster, but I think at last the judiciary has given back Pastor Ezekiel his nyota for him to continue running the church. 4 issues at play. We have gone to the High Court saying that the Registrar of Societies office is a crime zone that needs to be investigated. The acts they've done are criminal in nature. So we shall be writing the letters to the EACC, to the Ombudsman, and the DCI to investigate the disappearance of the file for Pastor Ezekiel's church. And the court has agreed with us, and that is why it has suspended a Gazette notice that has been born by acts and omissions of crime.
Well, the question is, will Pastor Ezekiel's nyota, as Lawyer Dunstan Omari puts it, continue to shine even after the determination of that particular case? Now, hundreds of students from a GACHAGUA refugee camp in Turkana County will access better education after Equity Bank offered scholarships under the Elimu Scholarship Program. Now, the initiative will fully fund the refugees' education and offer career guidance. Warimu Asike with the details.
With 1 week remaining to the reopening of schools countrywide, students from GACHAGUA camp in Turkana County have had a sigh of relief after they were offered school scholarships by the Equity Bank to facilitate their education. Over 3,000 students benefiting from the scholarship program in GACHAGUA refugee camp have attended a 3-day mentorship program as they await to join and resume school next week. Equity Bank Education Officer commended the initiative, highlighting that they have recorded the highest number of students sponsored under the program from the GACHAGUA refugee camp.
And the reason I am here is because we are celebrating that for the first time we have a very large contingent of Kenyan students. We call them Kenyan students, although they come from the GACHAGUA refugee camp, because this is their home. This is the largest number of refugee learners that we have ever had in the program. The beauty about it is that they do not study locally. I think it's only 52% who study in the region. The other 48% are studying across the country. So they're exposed to the same opportunities as any Kenyan child. And they go to the same schools, they are taught by the same principals and teachers, and so they have an equal chance of success, and it's only up to them to choose and take advantage of this opportunity.
The beneficiaries sent their heartfelt gratitude to the Equity Bank for facilitating their education, stating that it will light their path towards fulfilling their hopes and dreams career-wise. They have promised to work smart at school and attain good grades.
It has really been of our great honor to be given this opportunity. It has really helped us a lot, though we are not thorough with our education. We are really appreciative to the team that has been supportive right from where we began.
They get to learn from each other, and as well they learn from us. We guide them on their career paths, and as well their sponsors come to check on their performances, their progresses, and how they're faring on in schools.
Warimu Asike, Lookuptv.
A very big thank you to Equity Bank, and of course that is in line with the government's agenda to ensure that even those who are vulnerable in the society get to afford education. Now the government and non-governmental organizations have come up with a project dubbed Beat the Locusts, with an aim of introducing the use of insects as a source of food for residents and livestock in the pastoralist counties of Isiolo, Marsabit, Laikipia and Samburu. Those and more stories in the County Roundup.
In Samburu County, both government and non-governmental organizations have initiated a program dubbed Beat the Locusts, with an aim to introduce insects as a source of food for residents and livestock in the targeted pastoralist communities.
If the community can embrace this, either for animal nutrition and health or human nutrition and health, then they can go a long way to overcome this food crisis. Or it could be an additional food system to support the existing food systems. But also in terms of producing the insect for income, insects have a very short life cycle, and therefore it can be easily commercially produced and can also serve as a regular cash flow for our smallholder farmers.
In the same county, a teacher at Baragoi Mixed Secondary School in Samburu North has been shot dead by bandits. Former Samburu Women Rep Maison Leshomo says that more than 70 people have been killed by bandits this year and that people lose lives every week.
Watu wamekufa hapo zaidi ya watu 70. Kila wiki wamekufa. Kila siku wamekufa. Leo hii kuamkia leo mwalimu amewawa. President William Samuel Ruto, wewe ndio president wa Kenya sahi. Ninaomba jaribu bila unaenda kila pahali, jaribu piga kufika belt ya Wasamburu.
In other news, a one-week mentorship program has been started by Samburu Girls Foundation to help girls traumatized by FGM, despite the percentage of FGM cases in the area having reduced from 86% to 76%.
These girls need constant mentorship because of the psychosocial support that they need due to what they've gone through, the traumatic experiences that they've gone through. And yet they're still young girls, young children who are growing up. So they need to be reminded of, they need to be given hope for tomorrow, for them to be able to rise up against the traumatic experiences that they've gone through.
Finally, investors in Kilifi County are lamenting over the long and tedious process of obtaining licenses and title deeds, and are therefore asking the county government of Kilifi to speed up the process.
To create an environment, number one, is the processes of licensing. Make them easier, make them faster. The approval processes, especially for land and for titles, when you make the processes easier and faster, you instill confidence in the investors. Because previously county governments and what we used to have as local authorities were known for inefficiencies. So we are looking forward, and I'm already seeing good signs of efficiencies, of commitment to delivery, and of quality interaction.
Hadassah Christel, Lookuptv.
Time to get sporty. Now, with 4 days left to the start of the FKF Premier League, the Football Kenya Federation started a 3-day mandatory physical endurance test training at the Kasarani Stadium with 114 match officials and 45 match commissioners drawn from the FKF Premier League and FKF Women Premier League. Now, they will also the officials will also receive a training on updates on the laws of the game for the 2023-24 season to perform better.
There are 3 tiers present here. The tiers are 1 Kenya Premier League, then we have the National Super League, then we have the Division 1. In total, we are going to have around 600 referees who will be tested. After testing, they will be taken through the normal endurance test of running. From there, they will go to class, do exams, and especially look at the amendments of the game, because as you understand is that as we were finishing the league last year or last season, the new laws were not in place.
We were going through what we call physical endurance tests. We were running 50, for referees they are running 15 seconds and jogging 18, which is the international. The only difference is that assistant referee, they walk.
Well, I do hope that as a fan of the local league, you're prepared for the new season. We, as the fans of the Kenya Police FC, we are well and ready for the league. Now moving forward, the Noga women's basketball team outshined Equity Hawks to clinch the Sterling Super Cup 2023 at Langata Sports Complex with a commanding score of 63-48 in the Sterling Super Cup Challenge. Now in the men's category, Ulinzi Snipers stood strong, defending their reigning champion status with an unwavering determination and skill. Winners went home with 50,000 shillings, with the second position having 30,000 shillings and 20,000 shillings awarded to those who emerged third. Well, that are the sports stories that we had for you today, and of course that brings this bulletin to an end. But don't you forget, world record holder Faith Kipyegon will be on the track, or the racing track, today at exactly 10:40. She'll be battling it out against Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands in the 1500 meters at the ongoing World Championships in Budapest, Hungary. Now, that will bring you that story tomorrow. Of course, many more other stories that will be following up for you. But on that note, we wrap up this bulletin. To everybody who made this a success, thank you very much. And for you, do have yourself a lovely night. And like always, God bless.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to info